Welcome to tonight's web class on purpose. Thank you for joining me. And if you don't know, I'm Keisha Golder. I help women define their unique purpose so they can live a life that they created on their own terms. I also created the Your Life Purpose Makeover Journey, which is a 3-stage, 9-step program where we dig deep to help you determine and figure out what it is about you that is going to help you find your purpose, as well as find your purpose and give you the blueprint to go out and live the purpose on your terms. I would like to remind everyone that there will be a section at the end of the presentation to ask questions. So if you could hold all questions until then, it will be greatly appreciated. Before we jump into tonight's topic, let's do a quick recap of last week. Last week, we discussed personal identity, what it is, what makes up each person's personal identity, and how our personal identity impacts our lives. Tonight, we are going to discuss purpose, what it is, why we feel we need purpose in our lives, and how purpose can add value to your life. Let's begin. What is purpose? Purpose is something we all need in life. It can help us define our path, and it also relates to what we feel has meaning in our life. So, purpose gives us a sense of direction. It motivates us, it can guide us. It really is the reason we feel we exist in life. And it helps us make decisions. Big decisions, small decisions, all of these things are fueled by purpose. Now, when you think of purpose, you should be thinking of your inner world, everything that is close to you. So your inner thoughts, your inner feelings, all of these things are related to your purpose. When you think of meaning, you should be thinking of the outer world. So your purpose, which is your inner world, is going to affect your meaning, which is your outer world. And, meaning is also, it could be the past, but purpose focuses on the future. So when we say that we want to have meaning in our lives, that just means that we want to have an impact on the world around us, not necessarily on ourselves. But when we say we want purpose, we need to find what our purpose is. We want to make sure that we know how and why we are here. What are we doing to either contribute to society so that we feel that we're making a difference? That's what purpose is. Purpose is what gives us that reason to wake up every morning. And another way to think of purpose is that it's related to your values. So when we go back later on in the presentation and you look at the stages and steps of my life purpose makeover journey, you're going to see that values is a part of that, because without knowing your values, you're not going to be able to find your purpose. And if you find a purpose without knowing your values, it's not going to be a purpose that gives you the fulfillment that you're looking for. There are several types of purpose. They are survival, adopting a pre-existing framework of purpose and meaning, personal accumulative, altruistic or idealistic, and personal spiritual development. So survival is the most basic level of purpose, and it's basically meeting your needs, the basic needs, which are food, shelter, and being able to protect yourself from any threats. The pre-existing framework of purpose is where we look to belong to something. So the easiest example that I can give for this would be religion. People often seek religion or spirituality or something outside of themselves that it already exists, that already has structure and a framework, because they want to belong to something and they feel that belonging to this religion or this thing will give them a greater sense of purpose. If you think about it, personal accumulative purpose is basically accumulating things. You equate your purpose to whether you can gain status, wealth, notoriety. That's what personal accumulative purpose is. Altruistic or idealistic purpose is just your purpose is no longer about you. It's about helping people, helping things become better. So for someone who wants to end world hunger, that's an altruistic purpose that they feel that they serve, because it's something outside of them completely. But at the end of the day, it not only gives them a reason to wake up in the morning, it can help change someone else's life. And the last type of purpose is personal or spiritual development, where you feel your purpose is to continue to grow and evolve through your creativity and self-exploration and self-expression. All of these purposes put together gives you life purpose. All of these work together for the greater good, which is your life and why you feel that you're here. No, you may not realize all of those purposes at once. No, all of those purposes may not be equal. But they all put together culminate in your life purpose. So now that we know what purpose is and we know the different types of purpose, why do we feel that we need purpose in our lives? We need purpose because it gives us a reason to get up in the morning. And it also gives us a sense of belonging. Now, I'm not sure about everybody else, but before I knew what my purpose was, before I was following in the footsteps that I created for myself to find my purpose and to follow my purpose, it was hard for me to get up in the morning because it was like, what's the point? Why am I getting up? I don't have anything meaningful to do. It's just another day. Whereas now, I'm excited to get up in the morning. One, because I know that there are things that are ahead of me in the day that are going to make a difference, either on a personal level or on someone else's life. Purpose just gives you that sense of, yeah, it's going to be a good day. I know it's going to be a good day because I'm going to get out here and do what I'm supposed to do. And even if it's just one person, I'm going to make the difference that I'm supposed to make. And a lot of times when we find our purpose, we also find what I like to call our soul tribe. People that we can relate to. People that understand us, but don't try to change us. People that will see what you're doing and say, hey, I see what you're doing. I like what you're doing. How about we work together, because we can reach more people working together than separately. It gives us a sense of, this is why I'm here. This is why I was created to make this difference at this time instead of 50 years from now or 50 years earlier. This was my purpose. And for me, anytime that I have not walked in my purpose or I have not followed through with the things that are related to my purpose, I just got off track for whatever reason. It always called to me. It always came back to me. I know there was a time in college when I was stuck on nursing at Coppin, but I didn't want to do 5 years of college. I didn't want to completely give up my life at, in the last year, because all I would be able to do is do my internships as a nurse, and I wouldn't be able to work, and I wouldn't be able to do all of these other things. And I just felt like that was the only way for me to fulfill my purpose, which is helping people. Then I decided to just stop with the nursing and figure out another way. And I figured out another way, but then that way wasn't conducive for me either. So I just stopped with the purpose of helping people and decided, well, I'm just going to work, and the job that I was doing had nothing to do with helping people or anything like that. And every time I turned around, there was someone either reaching out to me to help them, or there was someone having a conversation with me, and it always went back to, you should help people. You ever thought about helping people? You ever thought about doing this? You ever thought about doing that? And it was always surrounded around my purpose of helping people. So for me, and like I said, I can't say who else has experienced this, but if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, or I'm not in alignment with my purpose, I get called back to it. Through the simplest ways, like I said, conversation or just thoughts, it calls me back. And it continues to call until I am following through with it. I'm walking in it. I'm aligned with it. And this has happened to me on several occasions, not just with my purpose of helping people, but when because you can have more than one purpose. So it's happened to me on several occasions. And I'm like, when it does happen, I feel like, yeah, I'm not in alignment. So I need to align myself. I need to get back on track to what it is that I need to do to fulfill my purpose. So we've talked about why we need purpose, what purpose is, but how can purpose add value to your life? This may be one of the easiest things that you can do, is be in alignment with your purpose, because it's good for your psychological health. It makes us less self-centered, and of course, it enhances your self-esteem. And so there's something called psychological discord, and that's just a sense of uneasiness we experience when we're not occupied by things outside of ourselves. So when we are fulfilling our purpose, living a purposeful life, we're occupied by those external things. So we don't experience the psychological discord that someone who's not walking in their purpose would experience. We are using our minds, we're thinking, we're following through on the things that we set forward for ourselves. Having purpose makes us less centered, self-centered. We've all had points in our lives where we were selfish, where we didn't want anything but what was going to make us feel better. We didn't care about other people. We only cared about ourselves. That's not what purpose is. So anytime that you're in alignment with your purpose, and you're walking in your purpose, and you're fulfilling it, guess what? That's just enough room for you to not have that self-centeredness. You're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about other people. Regardless of what your purpose is, it's not about you. It's going to make you feel good, and it's going to give you that sense of fulfillment, but in actuality, you are helping others. So you're not thinking about how your hair looks, how much money you have, what kind of clothes you're going to buy. You're thinking about what your purpose is going to do for someone else. And it enhances your self-esteem. And so we often face challenges on a day-to-day, whether we're fulfilling our purpose or not. But when you see yourself and you have your purpose is your end game, and you have goals set up to get you to your purpose, to help you fulfill your purpose, every time you achieve one of those goals, your confidence increases. Your self-esteem increases, because you can say, I set this goal for myself. And not only did I reach this goal, did I achieve this goal, I achieved the goal behind it. I continue to achieve the goals that I set for myself until I have realized the big thing that it is that I wanted to realize. And it doesn't have to stop at purpose. This can correlate to any area of your life. When you are setting goals, when you're setting steps for yourself to achieve, once you achieve them and you continue to do what you need to do to get the goal, the ultimate goal that you set for yourself, you're building your self-esteem. You're making sure that you are living the way that you want to live and how you want to live. So I'm going to give you examples of purpose. Some of them are making community contributions. Now, this can be contributing to food pantries, soup kitchens. It could be giving clothes to the Goodwill, making any kind of contributions to your community. That can be a purpose. Living authentically. Now, how do you do that? That takes you knowing who you are, you learning who you are, you shedding things that do not resonate with you. You get rid of things that are no longer bringing you joy, that are bringing you down more than they give you happiness. You set your mind on what it is that you want, how you want your life to look. And you every day wake up and intentionally decide to live like however it is that you dream to live. That's living authentically. Being true to yourself is living authentically. If you say that you are going to be a millionaire by 2025, and every day you wake up and you do things that are going to help you become a millionaire, then you are living authentically to that purpose that you set for yourself. Now, if the reverse is true, if you get up and you sit on a video game all day, some people do make money playing video games, but the reality is most of us do not. So if you wake up every day and just play the video games and do nothing to propel yourself forward to that dream of becoming a millionaire, then you're not living authentically. You're out of alignment. Fostering connections is another sense of purpose. We all want to belong to something. We all want to have connections with people. Even if that's just it, you feel that your purpose is making connections or bringing people together. That is the way that you can fulfill your purpose. You make the connections with people. You help bring people together. If you know that your friend needs help in creating a business and you might not be able to help your friend create that business, but you have someone else that you've made a connection with, you can bring those two together. And that's helping you serve that purpose of fostering and building connections. Teaching children is another example of purpose. All school teachers feel that their purpose is to be with children, to teach children, to mold children. I grew up in a household, my grandmother was a school teacher. And every day she would come home and she would say that she's doing what she was supposed to do. She's serving her purpose. She made a difference in her life, which affected children who were being molded by adults. And sometimes you can feel that that's your purpose, and then you get into the field and you see that it's not right for you. People who are not right for that field can explore another way to maybe work with children. But when you know that your purpose is to teach children, you're more patient with them. You take your time and you help them out because they're not going to get it right away. They're just learning. Someone had to take their time with you. So you're going to take your time with these children to help them explore, learn, and grow. And I know that a lot of my grandmother's children that she taught still keep in contact with her until this day, she gets phone calls, she gets cards of all of those things because her living her purpose helped these children realize great things in their lives, and she made an impact on someone just by fulfilling her purpose. A lot of people feel that leaving a legacy is a purpose, and I'm not going to say that it's not. But what kind of legacy are you leaving? Are you leaving a legacy that says, oh, you were nothing but a bum? Or are you leaving a legacy that says, you were a great person, not by giving money, not by the things you said or did, but just because you lived a life where you were of service. Leaving a legacy is a purpose, but it's one that I feel has too many different routes that you can take. And who is it a legacy to? Is it a legacy to your children? Or are you looking for other people to feel that you left a legacy? We all know individuals who are very passionate about saving the earth, saving the environment. That's a purpose because someone has to think about it. If you think about it right now, there is fire in the ocean. How can there be fire in water? So someone has to try to protect the environment so that we're able to continue to exist, because if they don't, we may end up dying off or becoming extinct. You don't want to think about things like that, but that is really, really possible. So I've given you examples of purpose. Can anyone else think of any other examples of purpose that there might be or that they feel is an example of purpose? Because we're at our question and answer part now. So if you have any questions, you can ask them now, or you can give me what you would feel would be a purpose in your eyes. Okay. And so I love to keep in touch with everyone. You guys can follow me on Facebook at Coach Keisha Golder, on YouTube at Keisha Golder, LinkedIn Keisha Golder, and of course you can follow my website, which is KeishaGolder.com. You can go there and look at past web classes, see what web classes are coming up, and you can get in contact with me easy on my website. Our next web class, we're going to talk about boundaries, because boundaries are an important part of life, not only for your purpose, but just for your sanity. So we're going to talk about what they are, why we need to set boundaries, and how boundaries can help us align with our purpose. As mentioned, this is my life purpose makeover journey. And right there on stage 1, step 2, we talk about core values. Our values align with our purpose. So after we get to know where we are and where we want to be, we talk about those values. What are the values that you have? Why do you have them? How are those values aligned with your purpose? Or are they aligned, period? And if not, how can we align your values and purpose? We talk about your belief systems, because belief systems are a part of your values too. What are your skills, your passions, your experiences? All of these things put together make up our purpose. So once we work through all of that, we get to create our vision of you get to create your vision of what your purpose is, what your life is when you're living your purpose. How are you going to feel? Who's going to be around you? What are you going to be doing? And then, of course, we're going to write out our purpose. Write it out, visualize it, stamp it, make it our own, because it is yours. And once we do that, we create the paradigm, the blueprint. This is the thing that we're going to utilize so that no matter what situations come up against you, no matter how many times your purpose changes in life, because again, you can have more than one purpose. You're going to be able to follow this path. You're going to be able to follow this blueprint so that each and every time you are living in alignment with your purpose and you're living in alignment with yourself and you're living on your own terms. I appreciate you for joining me tonight. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you. Have a good evening.